And a new book has been published on the journey of a Grand Valley mother and her son, and the challenges they faced throughout her child's cancer diagnosis. The book contains journal entries on everything from his diagnosis to the end of his life, as well as tributes afterwards. Reporter Alex Rivero sat down with the author and has more.
Sam was genuinely the kindest person up until even now I've ever met in my life.
Sam Safken, a born athlete and graduate of Fruita Monument High School, was well known around the Western Slope for excelling at all sports, including both football and wrestling. His skills even landing him a full-ride scholarship to the University of Northern Colorado for both. Sadly, his career was cut short when he was diagnosed with Ewing Sarcoma at the age of 18, eventually passing at the age of 21. Sam's mom, Linda Mulleady, takes us through her journey with Sam.
Ewing sarcoma is a cancer that usually goes into boys more than girls, and it's usually when they're in their like a growth spurt, like from high school to college.
After his diagnosis, Mulleady says trips to Denver for his chemo treatment were weekly. They would leave Grand Junction at 4 o'clock Monday mornings to get to Denver by 9 and would return home Friday. And it was there a nurse recommended they start keeping a journal.
When he got sick, there was a nurse at the clinic that told us that one of the important things we should do is keep a journal.
This new book, A Promise Made and a Promise Kept, authored by Sam's mom, is a collection of journal entries Sam and Mulleady would write.
Sam wanted a book that would lift people up to make them happy. So most of the stories that Sam wrote in here, they're funny, they're uplifting, they're about judging people by what's inside, not what they look like.
Mulleady gives us one example of Sam's kindness that he gave to a new student who had just moved to the area.
And this kid came to town named Brock. And Brock was a big kid. He was way overweight, but he didn't think he could play football. He didn't think he could do anything. Sam convinced him to run out on the field with him. They had to run laps around the field before football practice. And Brock would run, but Brock would be way at the back of the line. And Sam would actually go back there and run with Brock rather than run with his team. And his mother, I met his mother after Sam passed away, or when Sam was sick. I met her downtown, and I said, she was running around with a coffee can collecting money for us out of total strangers with a picture of Sam on the side of the can. And I said to her, I said, why are you doing this? And she goes, because your son was the only one that didn't make fun of Brock when we moved here from California.
The book is now available for purchase on Amazon.com. The full-length interview will be posted on WesternSlopeNow.com. Alex Rivero, KREX 5 News.